every every single weekend, every single day of the week, we're doing something to move our business forward. It could be different week to week, day to day. But I know, for example, Janae and I, we both have family that live in the Maryland area. So one of the things that we make a non-negotiable as a way to build this business into our life is, even if we have commitments with family or friends and things like that, we always find a way on the weekend to go networking, to expand our business, to talk to somebody new. During the week, maybe we don't get a chance to go out as much, maybe once or twice throughout the week, but we're always reaching out to people on social media. Is the business always in your head, or is it something that here today, gone tomorrow, maybe some days, maybe I'm occasionally adding value, building, adding to my prospect list. Even I'm trying to fit this business in when it's, when I don't have anything going on, I'll do something for the business. When I'm not busy with my job, then I'll listen to a podcast. When I'm not busy, with family commitments, then we'll go out and talk to people. If that's the approach you have, again, it's going to be very long. It's going to take a very long time to achieve your goals in business. And as well as maybe talking to new prospects every once in a while. I don't know if you have anything, because I know when you came into business, you were pretty much right off the bat, sort of ready to go talking to people.
Yeah, because I mean, the whole reason that I wanted to start a business is because I wanted something that I didn't have. I wanted to create extra income. I wanted to create that generational wealth. That's what a lot of us are looking to have. But in order to have that, you have to put in some work. We didn't sign up for this isn't a job, but this is something that is supposed to sustain us for the rest of our lives. So why not just put the work in now? So it was just kind of, for me, when I started my business, it was a no-brainer. Like, I'm gonna listen to what my coaches and my mentors have to say, so that they know more than I do. I wasn't a business owner prior to launching this business. I had no business literacy, so it just made sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like we said, it's just the mindset. Is this something that's on your mind constantly? Is this something that you're thinking about? Because this business is very easy to work into your life if you approach it as a business. This is probably the least expensive, the least time commitment type of a business that you can start for yourself, but it's probably one of the most expensive hobbies, the most frustrating hobbies that you can have, if that's the way that you approach it. So again, I challenge you to think, when it comes to the area of networking, how many people did you drop the message on in the past week? How many times have you gone out and talked to people, in the past month? How many times have you done a power hour in the past couple of weeks? How many MG1s have you had? How many people have you launched? Start to think. I remember I was listening to a podcast. Where you make money in this business is expanding this business and giving it away to other people. How many hours a week are you in front of a new prospective prospect? Because if you're not, again, you can grow yourself, you can develop your mindset in this business, which is definitely fantastic, but it's not going to move the needle forward when it comes to increasing your income or growing your business. So start to be aware of that, especially as a new partner. Learn the basics, but quickly start to share this opportunity with other people. One of the people that I definitely want to shout out is Georgina and even Doris, who just had 5 candidates today. I know they've led by example. Even Sergio, they've led by example in their first, I've seen them launch in the past 90 to 180 days. In their first couple of months in business, they showed this business to a lot of people. And you can see the growth that's happening all across, obviously Maine, Bronx, New York, everything like that. So big shout out. I think they're both new 1,000, 1,500 PVs as of last month. So you can see that this business is meant to be built in batches, but it starts with having that mindset of not occasionally, but consistently. And it doesn't require you to stop doing stuff outside of your other commitments, but it requires you to fit the business in. The second thing that I want to touch on is obviously volume. Again, when it comes to the area of volume, are you more of a business owner or a hobbyist? Now, I heard through the grapevine, I don't know if CK is on, or I know it's morning time in Australia, but CK, if you are able to unmute and speak, I'll give you a minute if you are on a work call or something like that. But I definitely wanted to hear from you because I heard through the grapevine that you sold a few skies this month. But prior to CK, if he is able to talk, again, the mindset of business ownership versus a hobbyist. Again, in business, if you own your own business, are you going to buy products from your business, or are you going to buy products from somebody else's business? Obviously, it makes sense to support your own business. That's the mindset. I'm only going to support my business. I remember as a recent graduate, I had very little income. I started this business without a job. I started working part-time shortly thereafter. But I remember I made a conscious decision in my mind right when I started business that if I'm going to spend money on anything, there has to be some value coming back to me. And that's the way that I view this business, is that these are my products. I'm not in the Amway business. I'm in my business. Amway supplies my products and services, but it's my business. So I need to, approach it like that. Similarly, again, are you always talking about the products? Are you promoting it on social media? Are you trying the new products in business? Like Janae just said, the lipstick, things like that. Is it something that's on your mind, when you're out and about with others? Again, naturally, we're going to be around other people, but is the business coming up? Again, you don't have to force it down somebody's throat, but if somebody mentions that they have a cold, or they're having trouble sleeping, or they seem like they have lack of energy, does business even come to mind? Or are you just like, oh man, that's too bad? Is it you just forget that you even own a business? Because I've seen that happen with people. It's like they have opportunities. One of the things that I truly believe is that, God puts you in positions he gives you the opportunity to make your life better, but you have to take advantage of that opportunity. You can't it's not like, oh, I want to launch a new partner. What's going to happen is you're going to start to put people in your life that are looking for opportunities. But if you aren't speaking to them, then it's not going to come up. Or I'm looking to figure out a way to get 300 PV or hit my next goal in business. He's going to start bringing people into your life that have needs and issues that you can solve. But if you never bring it up, if you're constantly rarely using your products in front of other people, that's the easiest way. If you have your products, to use it in front of other people, that's the easiest way to make a sale. Because when you use it, people are going to start asking you questions. What is that? I've never seen that before. And it's an easy way to bring the business around friends very casually. Same way with, again, price comparison. Again, I did a video, Janae and I did, about prices and stuff like that. So that's not even really a thing anymore. But again, that consumer mindset, you want to be a prosumer, or I only try products after I hear people speak about them in meetings. Again, you want to switch that mindset, because you don't get paid if you approach this as a hobby. You get paid if you approach it as a business owner. But I don't know if you have anything. I know.
And I was going to say, in the books, Household Gold and Prosumer Power, they teach you kind of that new mindset, kind of starting to shift that mindset from employee to business owner. How can I take ownership of the products that I have? I mean, you just switch them over, kind of not get rid of the products that maybe you've been accustomed to, but kind of start to include your new products each month into your business, because it's your business. You know what I mean? You want to have this business you want this business to sustain you. So you want to be a product of your business. Just always having it on your mind. Like John was saying, educate yourself. The more that you know about your products, the more confident you're going to be. That's going to make you want to talk about your products even more. I feel like people aren't willing to look into their products or use their products enough, so that then they don't have much to say, so then they don't do too much in their business, when really all you need to do is use them, learn about it. We have a bunch of information on the website, a bunch of information on Amway Education. Your upline are there, the meetings that you attend, people are talking about it in PACE meetings and things like that. So just be a product of your business, use your products, because, if you're not going to talk about it, no one else is going to ask you about it. So if you're not using it, no one's going to ask you about it, so you won't be able to speak about it. So yeah, just educate yourself. Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, absolutely. Educate yourself, use your products, and just have it be on your mind. And I see CK was able to hop on. So yeah, so I heard, let me spotlight. So for those of you guys who don't know, CK is from Australia. Maybe you can give a little bit of your background, CK, but I heard through the grapevine that you sold, I think, 3 skies this past month. So that's a true business owner. That's big money, big ticket items. So if you could share with everybody, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can take the stage.
Oh.
How did you do it? Give everybody your background.
Thanks, John. Again, I was launched by Vincent Young in Perth, Western Australia, and coach and mentor by amazing Devang and Nati and Vishal and Sonika. How it just came on my mind. I wanted, now this, I'm a Buddhist, so I talked to this venerable from the Buddhist temple. I wanted to donate embryos, or I think you call it atmosphere sky in the US. So I wanted to donate one for where she lives and one where she meets the devotee. And then she asked me, what is this about, you know? So that gave me an opportunity to tell her more about how amazing is this embryos. And then I told her, I'm not sure anybody knows the size of coronavirus. So, and I told her the size of coronavirus is 0.25 micron to 1 micron, and embryos can filter up to 0.3 micron. Okay, so she said, wow. And I know in Singapore, they claim that these embryos can filter coronavirus, but in Australia, Western country, I don't think they dare to claim that, because you can get into legal suit and all those things. So you just imagine 0.3 micron and 0.25 to 1 micron, you can filter up to maybe what, 80% or 90% of the coronavirus. And she got very excited about this product because my main intention is to donate to the temple. Okay, so and then I told her about how wonderful is embryos, and then she said, all right, and she had got donated funds. She wanted to buy 4, and then she said, well, and she said, no, if I donate 2, it will be too heavy cost for me. So she will just accept 1. So in the end, I ordered 4 for her. So one I personally donated to the temple. So it's due to arrive tomorrow morning.
Wow,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Congrats.
Yeah.
And CK, how much PV is that each of them?
Each embryos is 289 PV.
Wow. So
289 PV. Yeah, 4 of them.
Oh, wow. So that's over 1,000 PV right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So it's about 1,100 PV. Yeah, there about. Anyway, so what came to my mind after I placed the order is that it will be displayed in the temple. When people walk past, they will ask, what is that? And then people will say, probably go and look for CK. I think that came as my second thought, because my main intention is to donate to the temple, nothing else. But again, so this is an opportunity.
Amazing. No, appreciate you sharing, CK. And that's a true business owner. Because like you said, it's just sharing, opening your mouth, because again, closed mouths don't eat. You know, if you open your mouth, if you share things with people, you know, oftentimes you never know what's going to happen. You know, you came in with the idea of just sharing maybe 1 or 2, donating them, and then you come out with selling 4. You know, again, imagine what all of us could do, you know, especially with you know, all these amazing products. So thank you so much, CK, for sharing that. You know, definitely true inspiration. Yes. So absolutely. So let's jump back in. So I think that's a true testament of the volume aspect, being a business owner, opening your mouth, looking for opportunities. Maybe you guys can write down, maybe in your notes right now, write down 2 or 3 places like CK was mentioning, the temple, maybe other community areas. Maybe write down a few places in your local neighborhood or community that you either know somebody or you want to help out. And why don't you go there and do exactly what CK did? Maybe we can come back here next month and see how many of us could sell 1 or 2 or 3 atmosphere skies. Because I'm sure I know when Janae and I, when we were going silver, we actually had a massive order because of just opening our mouths. One of our downlines had an order of like 5 to 10 atmosphere skies as well. You know, so those are big ticket items, and all it takes is a conversation. So I would recommend you guys do that. In the skies and those air treatment systems, those are big money, big ticket items. You sell, you know, 3 or 4 of them like CK, you know, you're looking at a good solid, like probably, what is that? You probably make a $200, $300, at least in the United States, profit on each one. I mean, that's probably over $1,000. Again, don't quote me on it. Look up the price yourself, but that's a good solid, that might be a rent check or a mortgage payment for most of you guys. So, hey, all you have to do is open your mouth and look what happens. So again, volume, you know, be a business owner, a hobbyist. If CK was just thinking, oh, I could do it. Oftentimes I've done this to myself, and I know a lot of people do. It's like, I should donate and talk to them about, you know what, I'll do it later, maybe next month, you know, maybe later I'll do it. But no, you have to go from thinking to action. That's where success lies, is in the action. And lastly, as we wrap up with the presentation, before we finish off with some thoughts, is the personal development. You know, again, do you take your personal development seriously like a business owner, or do you take it kind of like a hobby? Is it just like a cool thing, like, oh, I have a mentor, or I read PMA books, I listen to a couple of talks, or are you truly a product of the BWW system? This is definitely something I can give you guys a secret for those of you guys that are new in business and those of you guys that are looking to move on in business. The biggest way that you can identify the next upcoming leader is by one, the way that they dress and carry themselves, and two, the way that they speak. You know, I know somebody I can just speak, because I see him on my screen right now, Gio. I remember so vividly the first time I met Gio. You remember Gio when you came to like Vishal and Sonika's, you were like from Denver, you flew all the way to Vishal and Sonika's house for like my in-person board plan. At least that's the first time I remember meeting you. And I remember just like seeing you, meeting you, like seeing how you got around the team, got around your upline, the way that you were dressed. And it was just very clear that Gio was somebody that was serious about his business. There was many people in that room there that night, but Gio is one of the people that rose up out of that room and became one of the leaders on, I know, Ratty and Elisa's team and Evelyn's team. You know, and again, it's something that it's very simple. You know, you improve your appearance, you look the part. You know, if you were to do a Zoom call and Vishal were to do a Zoom call, how would Vishal dress on the Zoom call? Would he dress with, you know, shorts and a t-shirt and a ripped off shirt, walking around at the bus stop or something like that? Or would he be sitting in his office ready to do a call, you know, with a jacket and a blazer on? You know, it's the same thing. It's the same mindset. You know, are you giving your business the proper respect, or are you kind of just using it casually as, you know, maybe I can do this, do that. Oh, I'm on my way to my dentist appointment. Let me hop on a Zoom call or something like that. Or do you factor out times to actually do Zoom meetings or you know, dress well or have an actual office space in your business? That's the one thing I can definitely say as, you know, a leader in business looking to develop other leaders. That's the first thing. That's the easiest thing you can spot of somebody who's coming up in business, is somebody, the way that they speak and the way that they present themselves. You know, sometimes you come in, you know, not knowing what's going on, but it's very easy to tell. Like if you just look through the Zoom room right now, all the people that have their cameras on, you know, how are they dressed? How do they look? What's their background look like? You know, it's again, it doesn't take any money to look the part and speak the part. You know, so those are some of the things I would say. Again, another thing, you know, I'm just going to focus on the business owner side. You can kind of look at the hobbyist side, but, you know, again, do an audit of their time and their money. You know, I remember Nanda would always say that Vishal would always say, that I'm sure Kumar would always say, as everyone would always say, is that you show me where your money is going and where your time is going, and I'll show you where your priority is. You know, think back, what did you do? Think back at the last 1 to 2 weeks in your business. You know, how many hours? There's 168 hours in a week. How many of those 168 hours went into your business? And then once you identify that, how many of that 168 went into personal development, went into expanding your business, went into volume? It's very obvious if you just simply audit your time and your money where your priorities are. And I think if you do that just for yourself, it'll change your entire business, because this is a business that is very easy to build into your life, but it's very easy not to at the same time. So it takes that intention, it takes that thought, it takes that initiative. Again, like I said, you need ambition, a vehicle, and a mentor to be successful. You got the vehicle, you got the mentor, now you need your ambition. Is it something that's constantly on your mind? Are you looking to get better on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? Or are you kind of just allowing things to kind of happen? There's plenty of resources to learn, you know, again, properly preparing prospects, everything like that, seeking the education. You know, again, it's just very simple, you know, the business owner mindset versus the hobbyist mindset. I don't know if you have anything else you want to touch on.
Yeah, I was going to say, basically people aren't going to believe in you if you don't believe in you. So you definitely want to believe in yourself and believe in your business. And the only way to do that is by doing what you need to do to incorporate your business in your life, so that you are only thinking about your business and ways to be better in business, and also building yourself up along with that. And so I was going to also say, any progress that you have is going to take place outside of your comfort zone. I know a lot of people, including, I guess I could speak for myself, being in your comfort zone can be really comfortable, right? You don't want to leave it. You don't want to change, because that's just what you've been accustomed to. But in order to be successful in this business, you have to change, you have to grow, you have to have that growth mindset. You know, the book that we always talk about, Magic of Thinking Big, helps you with that. And so just read that book, immerse yourself in the business and get out of your comfort zone so that you can build your business, so that you can set a great example for your team. And yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, like you said, it's the mindset. It's a simple mindset shift from being a business owner to being a hobbyist. When you come in, you have that you have a little bit of that, grace period where you can kind of get acclimated, especially nowadays, since we're on Zoom and we're kind of virtual, you don't get as much exposure, to the team, but virtually you can. But it's really just that mindset, leadership is caught, it's not taught. It's something where you have to actively go after it. You have to actively seek it out. You have to actively look for, the things that you want in your life. And that's what's going to get you to the goals that you have. It's going to be a shift in your mindset. The same skills that you had coming into the business are not going to be the same skills that it's going to be required to take you Eagle, Platinum, and beyond. You're going to have to develop new skills, and it comes with that priority. It comes with that shift in your mindset. And one thing that I always loved, I was listening to a talk earlier today, and one thing that I always loved when I was kind of coming up in business, still kind of coming up, but especially at in-person events, was I remember kind of wanting to kind of see, what does it actually take? Like, who are the ones that are actually kind of moving forward in business? And I remember this was something that really kind of stuck out to me. And I want this to be a little bit more interactive. So I want to kind of engage a couple of you guys or everybody on the call. I want to kind of participate. So I want to give the secret, and I want to identify some of the people that are actually doing what it takes to be successful. So again, new people that are looking to move on, look very closely at the people that are about to raise their hands. So what I want to do is everybody on the call, Eagles, Platinums, new people, everyone can participate. I want you to raise your virtual hand, click reactions and raise hands if you've in the past month done anything to move your business forward. Let's say you've sold a product. Let's say you've done an MG1, you've dropped a message, you've done a power hour. Just simply everybody who's taken any action in the past month, just raise your virtual hand to show that, that you've done some of those actions or activities, just so that the new partners and people on the call can kind of see, some of the faces of the people that are taking action and moving on. And I'm sure there's a lot of people on and engaged, and more to come. So again, obviously that's very key. I wish we were in a physical room so you could actually see people that are standing up and stuff, but we'll stick with where we're at right now. So okay, so we have like 46 plus people that are raising their hands. I'm sure some people aren't able to raise their hands, but okay, so now they've taken any action in the past month. So now what I want to say is, okay, so when it comes to building your business, obviously, is it safe to assume that the only way to really move your business forward is when you're talking to new people? Because you can sell products, you can launch people, you can, do something as far as reading a book, but it really doesn't move the needle forward. The only thing you yourself can control is how many people you're personally speaking to on a regular and consistent basis. So what I would say is if you guys who have raised your hand, obviously you're doing something, if you could keep your hand raised, if you've in the past, let's say week, spoken to or reached out to somebody for products or business, let's say 2 times in the past week, if you could keep your hands raised. And if you haven't, you can lower your hands and kind of see how the numbers, okay, the numbers are going down a little bit. So again, these are people that have done it 2 times in the past week. So who's done it, let's say 3 or 4 times in this past week? You've either gone out to the mall to see somebody, you've messaged people on social media, you've talked to somebody about products. 3 to 4 times in this past week, you've been consistent in taking some action towards your business. So again, for those of you that are new on the call, if you just got started, obviously you might not have done anything, but you can kind of see, okay, some of the people are starting to weed themselves out. Now, who's consistently 3 to 4 to 5 times a week taken some action in terms of talking to a new person, MG1s, talking to people, customers wise? Who's done that consistently for an entire month, this past month, 3 to 5 times a week, consistently done a power hour, gone out and talked to people, talked about their products, done something to see a new person consistently for an entire month? Okay, so now again, new people, look, the numbers are kind of slowly dwindling down. And again, if you're in that category where maybe you haven't been consistent, again, it's completely okay. I know Janae and I at different points in our business weren't as consistent as we wanted to be, but this is a decision point today where you can start to be more consistent. So, okay, so we got around 20 people right now. So, okay, you guys have been consistent for a month. Who's been consistent 5 days a week, 5 to 7 days a week plus for the past 3 months since the last conference? Who can say that they've been consistent in power hours, contacting, getting customers 5 to 7 days a week for 3+ months? You know, who's done it for 6+ months? Keep your hands raised. 6+ months. You've been consistent 5 to 7 days a week, talking to somebody new. So you can see this was a power visualization for all of you guys that are new on the call or something like that. You can see that the number of people slowly started to dwindle down. And the biggest thing I can tell you guys, if you guys are new on the team and you really want to make this business work, is you want to figure out how to get into this club. If you can be in this club where you can consistently, day in, day out, 5 to 7 days a week, do something for your business. Now, does this mean I can ask a few people on the call? Like I see, for example, Anish and Betsy. I know that we got to meet you guys at Seven Springs. So I know you guys, because I know if I could bring you guys up on the screen, I know you guys have a couple of kids, right? 2, 3, 4, right?
Yeah,
you guys
4.
have like a full house.
Yeah, 4.
House, right? So I know one of the things that a lot of people say is, oh, I got kids, like I can't be consistent. If you guys are consistently doing things, does this mean that you guys like neglect your kids or you don't have fun with them or see your family ever? You're just 24/7 doing business? Or how do you manage your time with a household of 4 for those of people that are new or looking to move on?
All right, thanks, John. Thanks, John and Jenny. Thanks for this opportunity. Again, guys, we are Anish and Betsy Babu, launched the business by Shankar and Mercy by IDQ, on the business, Questionnaire mentored by Founders Time and Santan Sangeeta. Yeah, like John and Jenny said, we have 4 kids actually, more than you thought, Jenny, John. So, but thing is, the thing is, it's priority, right? What is our priority? Our priority is always God, family, or job and business. Everything else comes secondary. We don't neglect anything, but we need to know what is important for that day. I mean, we go to job, we go to do our business, take care of the kids. Everything else comes after it. Does that mean if there is any important event comes in the family, we're going to ignore it? No, but we make up that time or the weekend or something, just like John said earlier, where we do that. But again, we do that consistently, that we don't lose the momentum of the business, and we don't lose the importance of the business.
And I think that we've also learned to say no when we needed to say no, and we've learned to say yes when we need to say yes. So we have 4 active children. We have active children, meaning they play sports, they are involved in our church activities. So we've allowed them to do that, but we've also allowed, they know our priorities. Like for instance, Wednesdays they know between the hour, here in Denver, it's between the hour of 6 and 8:30. If there's a sports game, I have to ask them to get a ride to and from a sports game because I can't go and pick them up or drop them off. They know that, if there's Sunday night pace, if there's a birthday party, they have to help me help them, get a ride. So we've learned to, there's a lot of communication, and there's a lot of, like I said, and that's very, like, for instance, in the book of the month, your limits and what you can do. At the same time, like Anish said, we're parents first. We're parents 24/7. So they know that they can, we have fun with them on the weekends, and we have cancellations, and we can go and, get ice cream or whatever. So
especially when you have kids, a lot of communication. They know that if their activity is not in our calendar, they're not participating in that one. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't know it, it's not going to happen. Yeah. They cannot have a last minute activity come and say, we need to go somewhere. We said, let us know.
So anyway,
but
it's
no, absolutely.
Yeah, it's planning. And then at the same time, we do our personal, we both do our personal power hours. We may not do it, together at the same time, obviously. Like I do mine later in the day than he does his during a different time, because we both have our business goals. We have to accomplish it, individually too. We play a part in that individually as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Jenny. Thank you.
For sure. No, and I appreciate you guys sharing, because I think that's so important, because that's one of the things, especially because I know there's a lot of people on the call again that are new in business or that have been in business for a little bit and they've been consistent and maybe haven't figured it out. But I think it's important for you guys to kind of share a little bit, like you said, like it's the priorities. It's not that anything's getting neglected, but it's that you have so much capacity as an individual to do a whole lot of things. And if you just corner yourself or put yourself in a box where it's like, I can only do a couple of things in my life, or I can't prioritize, or I can't do this, you start to, starve yourself from your dreams and your goals. And it's important, like you guys said, to prioritize.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's easy to add limitations to yourself because that's what you're used to. But once you're in this opportunity and you're around these people, like, I'm used to seeing people who don't prioritize their time and then waste their whole day and then complain, you know what I mean? But when you are in this environment around people who are positive, have dreams, have goals, and are, wanting to do more for themselves and wanting to actually be all in, I mean, it's just going to come second nature to you, prioritizing your time and knowing, okay, well, these are my days, especially if you want to be a big business owner. You can't just be clueless about where your day is going. You have to have a calendar and kind of schedule it out. That helps me in you as well. So
yeah, exactly. And it's as simple as that. It's just priorities. It's just thinking about it. It's like Peggy Britt always said, you just do a little bit every day to move your business forward. And like I said, this is the easiest and simplest and least expensive business that you can build if you approach it as a business owner. And it'll give you the most upside, because of the abilities. Like Anisha and Betsy said, it's not like you have to neglect anything. Like if you have a gas station or you have a traditional store, you're gone. Like you're not able to be around anybody or do anything. You got to be at that location. But with this business, you can do a variety of different things. You can have that flexibility, but it takes that priority. If you take it with that hobby mentality, it'll be very difficult. And I guess one more person I'll have share, since we have a couple of more minutes. I wish I could have all of you guys share who have your hands raised, but I know Gio, for example, obviously a young guy in business. I know another typical excuse that I get, or, that you hear, is kind of the whole, I'm young, I don't have a lot of money, I got a lot of other commitments, I got friends to hang out with. Like, how did you do it? Like, how were you as a young person, how did you kind of like budget your money or budget your time? Like what did you do to kind of separate yourself? Because I know, I'm sure, just like you, just like us, you get that same excuse as well. Like, how did you overcome it so that other people can learn from your example?
Definitely. Hey, thanks for that question, John. But to be honest, I'd say I really learned from my uplines, right? Q12, Ratty Martinez, Q12, Eleanor Martinez, they've definitely set the stage. They've definitely set the standards where Ratty himself has helped me with my time management, and even my team as well. We typically, as soon as someone's launched, we try to, and again, try to fit the business within their lifestyle, right? So we're very careful. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing every week? And see, all right, let's dedicate an hour to our business that day. Let's dedicate an hour here. So I do have to thank my upline for that. And I'll say, even where money is concerned, Ratty has definitely helped me with that, with budgeting and things of that nature. So, I mean, it wasn't hard due to the help and the assistance I had, but also I had to be disciplined, of course, because they could do all this work and I still, all right, put that to the side and ignore it and do my own thing, right? So it was about being disciplined because I had the goals in mind. I know where I need to be. And again, I don't know, I'm very sensical where, in the fact that I've seen Randy done it, accomplish certain achievement. And if he's telling me to do it, why wouldn't I ignore that? You know what I'm saying? So it's just about, just listening and getting it done, taking action as well, executing. Because I feel like a lot of people listen, but they don't execute. So that's the key thing. Yeah. And I guess where friends is concerned, similar to Anish and Betsy, I mean, you just have to say no sometimes. I could go every weekend, I could go out, you know what I'm saying? But that's clearly not moving me forward to my goals, you know what I'm saying? So I personally take my goals very seriously. So that was a thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you sharing that. Because again, that's another thing that I always give, as young people, especially summertime, like there's so much to do. I can spend my money on this, I can do that, I can do all these different things. But like you said, it really just comes down to priorities. And oftentimes it's not even just starving yourself from all the things that you want to do, but it's just being smart. Like, again, like I said, I know the one thing that I definitely can say that I struggled with a lot early on in business is I was the kind of like black and white thinker. It's like, I can either do everything that I want to do, or I got to stop everything and focus on the business. And I ended up doing the second of the two, which definitely helped me out a lot in life. But I've realized definitely more lately is that you can do a lot of things just by simply being smart with your time. Like kind of like Anish and Betsy said, it's not like, okay, I can never see my family or I can never hang out with my friends. But when I think, I'm like, okay, well, if I want to hang out with my friend, like for example, Janae and I went and grabbed lunch with a former, teammate of mine, he lives in the DC area, not related to business. And I was like, you know what? Well, why don't we do it on Saturday afternoon? And before we go and see him, as we're on our way, there's a mall, there's a couple of stores nearby. Let's go and get a few contacts. And we got a couple of contacts, still hung out with our friends, still had fun. I know oftentimes Janae has family like in Frederick, Maryland and other parts, Germantown. So it's like, oftentimes we're just like, okay, well, our prime time on the weekends is 1 to 5 p.m. That's when most people are out and about anywhere. It doesn't have to be the malls. It can be anywhere. So we just make it a priority that, okay, well, if we're going to hang out, let's just schedule it after the prime times that most people are out, and let's make a day of it. Let's go out, have some fun, meet some new people, so we still get to do what we want, but we also are building our business. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally what John just said. Whenever you're out, maybe you're on your way to go see a friend and there's a grocery store, stop in, buy an apple and say hi to someone, or, just don't buy the apple, just say hi and leave. You know what I mean? But just doing something just a little bit every day. And just, we wouldn't do that if we didn't have the business on our mind. So, we make it our business to, or a standard in our business to do something on the weekends for our business. So that might be, for us, maybe going to the malls. For you, maybe that's just going to the park or going to the grocery store or whatever. You don't have to do exactly what we do, but just having the mindset, or having our goals in our minds each month. Like, we know we want to hit goals. We know we want people to be launched in our business. What other way than to go out and meet people? And it also builds up your confidence and builds you up as a person. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's kind of all we wanted to share. I mean, kind of as we wrap up, I mean, that's the key. Those of you guys that want to move on, that sincere, and again, we all go through struggles and challenges. And sometimes, again, if you haven't been as consistent as you wanted to be, don't use that as an excuse to kind of feel down on yourself, but use this as a decision point to say, okay, now I want to move forward from today onward for the next 3, 6, 12 months. Let me just be consistent. Let me do something for my business every single day. Let me just have it at the front of my mind. That doesn't mean that you have to go crazy, go do a whole bunch of other stuff, but let me just be strategic. Let me prioritize. Take it one day, take it 1 week at a time. And when you win your day, you win your week, you win your month, and eventually you win your year, and you continue to move yourself forward. So that would be the biggest tip I would give to everybody, is treat this like a business and just be a business owner day in and day out. Like I said, this is the most forgiving business that you can be in. So you can start today to move yourself forward and be a part of that inner circle. Because when we get that number of people that you just saw, I know a couple of people lowered their hands, but there was about 10 plus people. I know there's probably a few more that didn't raise their hands that are a part of that. If we can get that number of consistent core people that are actively out there building the business from 10 people to 15, 20 people in the next 90 days, the numbers on this Zoom call are going to go from 90 to 150 to 200 and beyond. And we're going to start to break off into different board plans and stuff. I know that's Janae and I's goal, is to, in the next 90 days, we're starting platinum Q12 qualification, getting back into qualification. And for this next fiscal year, we want to be a major part of Devang and Artie's the Advaru board plan by January of 2023. We want to start our own. We love Vishal and Sonika, but we feel that the best way to honor them is to have our own board plan, to have our own speakers, because we know that the best way to share this opportunity is to get in front of more eyeballs. And we just want to use our leadership ability and in tandem with our upline to just be an example, to show people that this business does work if you simply just work the plan. And that would be my message to new partners. New partners, the biggest thing I would say is just start taking this business seriously. Treat this business like a business. And when you start to have questions and concerns, like, Anish and Betsy, like Gio and many other people said, consult with your upline. Ask them some areas where you can improve, maybe what you can do. Especially if you're new in business, look at areas where you can slightly increase the bar. You don't have to do anything crazy, but the beauty of this business is that, Vishal and Sonika and many other leaders have been free for decades. But when you really look at it, it was just a burst of energy. It was 2 to 5 years, maybe even less, of consistent effort that led to 20 plus years of freedom. What can't you do for 2 to 5 years if you can be financially free for the rest of your life? But if you don't approach it with that business owner mentality, it's not going to happen. And, that's what I would say to new partners. And for those of you guys who are veterans that are looking to move on, speaking to Janae and I as well, the biggest thing I would say is just keep going. one thing that I can definitely say is that God will never leave anything on a negative. Put God in as much debt as possible. You know, do so much work that it's inevitable that people are going to come into your business, that your business is going to grow, that things are going to happen in your business, and learn how to do it with a good heart. If you listen to any success story in this business or out of this business, there was times in their business where it looked like there was no point in moving forward. Even Elon Musk, I remember I was listening to recently, you know, he was like on the verge of bankruptcy with Tesla or SpaceX or something like that. And now he's one of the wealthiest guys in the world simply because he didn't quit. It's so easy to just quit, give up, throw the towel in, but all of the blessings that you were building up over that period of time just go out of the window. So that's what I would say is keep going, keep moving forward, and just simply do the little things every day. Don't do anything crazy. Don't try to, you know, jump over the moon, but simply just keep moving forward and keep staying steady, because that's how every one of the leaders on this call got into business, became successful in business, and you have 100% of the ability to do the exact same thing. So like I said, with that, that's all we had to share tonight. Hopefully that impacted a few of you guys. And like I said, just make that decision from today forward that 5 to 7 days a week, I'm just going to do something to move my business forward. I'm going to talk to somebody new. I'm going to do something. And I promise you that your business in the next 90 to 180 days is going to explode. And we're going to have a lot of new Eagles. We're going to have a lot of new 7 Springs qualifiers for next year. And I just can't wait to welcome a lot of you guys to Eagle Club and beyond. You know, and Janae and I are moving on as well. So thank you guys so much. Going to pass it back over to Maggie to close out. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Vishal, Sonica, and Divine and RT for allowing us to speak tonight.
Wow. I'm speechless. John and Janae, that was like a power pack training. So for those of you who, I hope all of you guys were taking notes. So, I mean, that was amazing. You guys really put it all out there for the new people, for those who are in business for a little while. And it's just a decision, right? Just like John and Janae said, it's just a decision. So amazing job, guys. Thank you guys so much.